Joshua Hill, who joins us for a series we like to call A Song of Dan and Josh, where we go through each and every chapter of George R. R. Martin's as yet unfinished fantasy magnum opus, A Song of Ice and Fire, and just break them down. What's good about them, what's bad about them, what makes them work, what makes them interesting. Why should you be reading it? Why should you be interested? What's the meat of this? The literary meat. And right now we are in Clash of Kings, Tyrion 4, Joshua Hill, editorial director of Fansided. How are you?
I'm good. Hello, everybody. Hello. Who do we have with us? Julie, obviously.
Of course. We got Julie, we got Tara, we got Ismael.
Hello to everybody.
We got Roger Black.
Did you wrap this book in bubble wrap?
No, I found this when we were
here?
moving. Just like it was in the cabinet.
I mean, I understand
and I'm like,
it's precious
sweet.
cargo, but...
Although, I mean, it is to be fair. And Julie says hi.
Hello.
To be fair, my last book, A Game of Thrones, the one we read, was so ragged by the end of it.
Beat up.
It's gone. I mean, I don't have it anymore.
Did you have like a little funeral for it?
That's stupid. It's a book.
I don't know.
Because
I'm imagining like a Viking funeral, but then we're burning books, and I don't really think we should be doing that.
I don't think what. Did I have a funeral for you? Did I light the book on fire?
Yeah.
No, there are too many signals with that. No, I didn't. I did buy a new one, and now I have a Clash of Kings.
Yes.
Okay.
And we read Tyrion 4, right?
4, yeah. And it might be a little patchy, because frankly, I read it a bit ago, because then we didn't have one last week, and now the notes come out all weird. But this is kind of like a peak Tyrion chapter, I think. This is...
It's meaty. There's a lot there.
Yes. What were your impressions, Josh, of Tyrion 4? We're in King's Landing. Stannis is on his way, but isn't there yet.
No.
And Tyrion's trying to manage the chaos.
And it stuck out in that these last couple chapters that we've read, I mean, we've noted they've kind of not a whole lot has gone on. It's just very small progression of the plot. And this one, it felt like we're back in the old school. This is Game of Thrones. Like,
this is
Tyrion's politicking
totally
all over. He's with Pycelle, and then he's with Cersei, and then he's like, well, we can't.
Littlefinger, Varys.
Yeah, especially Littlefinger. And he goes from being like, no, we can't, we can't have Tywin bring the army here because, like, look, it's not going to work. And then he's marrying off children or setting up arranged marriages for power. And Dorne is mentioned here in a pretty significant way.
The Vale comes into it, yeah.
Yeah, so it felt like we're back to the game. We're back to the politics of this, and it's not a pseudo horror film chapter where Arya's hiding in a barn, or we've got some little detail things going on. It felt like we're definitely moving towards something. And again, it's a flex on Tyrion on how much control he has over just about everything here. Where we've got all of these moving pieces, it feels like he's very much in control of what's going on.
This is a fun chapter because it's Tyrion at work and kind of making it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's also interesting that he doesn't really... we don't really know what he's getting at exactly for a lot of it. Like, the chapter is mainly him talking to Pycelle, and he gives Pycelle a letter.
Mm-hmm. And stealing a potion, too.
He totally steals a potion, which I don't remember if that does come back or not. I think the stealing a potion from Pycelle's store thing, my guess is, so when Joffrey dies, we have, like, he's trying to arrange a murder mystery board. Mm-hmm. Like, give someone, like, a little bit of motive for everything, or means, or, opportunity.
Yeah.
And you can come back to it later. So, again, this guy plans ahead. So he's thinking, because I can't think of anything else. Why else would we steal a damn potion from Pycelle's stores? I don't know. Anyway, he gives Pycelle a letter, and he says, don't look inside this, but mail it to Dorne immediately, knowing full damn well Pycelle is going to look. And the idea is he's going to, all he knows is he's going to go to Dorne. Then he goes to Littlefinger and says, I want to marry... Oh, God.
It's Marcella to...
It's a little different in the show, so I try to get it straight here. Marcella to Robin Arryn, that little
creepy kid.
ass weasel who, breastfeeds at the age of 13 or whatever. And then the letter is actually him offering Marcella to Dorne. Mm-hmm. And the idea is, whichever one of these jack weasels tells Cersei, I will know who I'm behind my back and betrayed me, and then I can punish them for it. So he's telling different things to different people. And he even has Varys fooled. Like, Varys thinks that he's going to offer Tommen to one and Marcella to the other. So Tyrion is...
He's got a web here.
Playing the game. Yeah, he is spinning a web. Mm-hmm. He is building lies upon lies upon lies, plots on plots on plots, schemes on schemes. And he's doing it, and he's having a good time. And he's doing it pretty well. And as we know from the show, this does work. Pycelle rats him out to Cersei.
Yep.
And then he puts Pycelle in a dungeon. Because that is what he's here for. Tywin told him, go down there, make sure those elite advisors who are advising Joffrey are in line. Pycelle, the eunuch, the one with the beard who has the money, the Littlefinger. And so this is him doing what his dad told him. He is trying to suss out if there are any weak links. And I guess Pycelle is the weakest link of the people who are there. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, it's Tyrion at his finest.
It really is. This is what he's good at.
I imagined it, I was recapping it in my head. And I imagined, because it's a very brisk chapter. There's a lot that happens, but it seems like it moves at a quick clip. It's like one of those. Like,
yeah, it does.
I imagine it as like one of those West Wing scenes where it's like the walk and talks where we're just going down the hallway and Tyrion's like, oh, I get this potion here. It's like, no, we can't have the armies come out here. It's, oh, yeah, we were marrying him off to Rob and Aaron. It's like, no, actually, we're marrying him off to Dorne. It's like, oh, Varys, let me tell you about my plan. And it's like this whole thing. And I don't know, it felt very different from the chapters that we've read, and it's intentional. But once again, and I almost liked it more because it's pushed up against these other kind of not a lot happens chapters to where it's like, okay, now
very different tones.
Yeah, not only is there meat to it, but it's a reminder that Tyrion is just a wizard.
Yeah, he's good at the stuff. And I honestly, God, I feel like we kind of lost that as the show went on a little bit. Like, he just didn't have that kind of moments of Tyrion being good at his job and doing smart stuff.
He got sad.
He got sad. And just kind of
mopey.
Ineffective.
Yeah.
Although in this part of the show, they did the scene really, really well. It was a montage on the show of him telling one thing to Varys, one thing to Littlefinger, one thing to Pycelle, and like so we all knew it was different. It's more obscured here. I think it almost worked better on the show, and it was definitely quick. But yeah, it was just it's just good stuff. It's fun because you know someone's going down. You know he's lying. You know it's just fun to kind of puzzle out his schemes. We also get more on the thread of even though Tyrion's doing a good job, people hate him.
Yeah.
Like, although it's not totally his fault. So last Tyrion chapter, we had this bit where he wants the goldsmiths to make a chain, but Cersei told him to make armor and stuff, and whoever they choose to follow, the other one's going to be mad. So it's like the people, no wonder they hate him. They really can't win. And here there's a bit about there's rioting in the streets. They're taking over the bakehouses because people can't get fed. And Tyrion refuses to meet with the people who are protesting, reasoning that what they want to do is see Joffrey. And like, if I send them to Joffrey, he'll probably just have them all killed. And there is some great comedy in here where he's trying to deal with all this, and Joffrey is like shooting rabbits in the courtyard and missing, which is just really funny. Like that's what our fearless leader is doing up in the halls of power.
The buffoon who just can't do anything right. Yeah, no.
Thinking he's being like the baddest ass there ever is, and everyone else is like, oh my god, what are we going to do?
Which again worked in the juxtaposition against Tyrion doing all of these things, actually getting things done, actually moving pieces, and you have Joffrey out in the yard just not knowing.
Missing rabbits.
I imagine him like cackling and laughing too, like some really just like pathetic thing, yeah.
But again, Tyrion doing a good job, but people not being able to see it, because he points out when I say to them you can't see the king, they're not going to understand that as, and I'm saving you from probably being skewered for fun. Yeah. They're saying it as, oh, you're trying to silence me, are you? Like, you know, they're not going to, they don't know Tyrion. They're not going to do the deep thinking. Yeah. So it gets us to this point where Tyrion is working really, really hard, but just nobody appreciates it.
No, I mean, that's kind of at the core of Tyrion's character, too. He's he's an influential character, and he's a very helpful character, and we like him. There's a reason that from basically the start, he's the only Lannister that we like.
Totally.
And we grow on Jaime over time and all that, and Cersei becomes empathetic and everything. But Tyrion from the start is a character that we've liked and we've enjoyed, so there is this kind of thanklessness to his entire existence. And there's a thanklessness to his job. He's not in a position where he can say, no, you can't see the king, and somebody's going to say, no, okay, thank you. It comes with the territory, and he knows that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean he has to like it, but it also doesn't mean he can't go and do these very elaborate things, because he's like, look, whether people thank me or not, whether people like it or not, it's going to have to get done, and I'm going to have to do it regardless.
Yeah. He can't get no respect. He's a Roddy Dangerfield of Westeros.
No respect at all.
No respect at all. So, and of course, that will lead to other things online. That'll lead to his big trial blow-up thing, where he's like, screw you guys, I am going home, trial by combat, you never did what I did for you. That's where this is all going. And of course, he'll want to leave and like, why should I help you? I'm going to go join up with this dragon lady. So that's like the meat of the chapter, but there's a lot of good grace notes in here.
Mm.
I liked his talk with Littlefinger probably the best, because he's saying like, oh, you'll go to Lysa Arryn, you tell him that we want to marry Marcella to Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to Robin. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. What's in it for me? And Tyrion offers him the castle of Harrenhal. And there's a really great bit where, like, Littlefinger is an implacable guy, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give anything away, but he's very ambitious. And I like this bit where it was that Littlefinger took a moment to adjust the drape of his cape, but Tyrion had seen the flash of hunger in those sly cat's eyes. Mm-hmm. I have him, he knew. So he managed to outplay Littlefinger.
Yep.
So, okay, yeah, Littlefinger's a sly jagweed, but he does want stuff. And if you find the right lever, you can work him. Mm-hmm. And Tyrion finds a way to work him, which is great. I enjoy that, and he will be duped by this. He doesn't betray Tyrion, so he gets to stick around. But he does. Oh,
that's Littlefinger's thing.
Julie, I am popping the bubble wrap. Should I stop? No. What are you doing?
I'm taking it away from you, Dan, on Julie's orders.
That wasn't an order.
There's
I love
no
the
more
bubble wrap.
There's no more bubble wrap.
I don't know why you aren't popping it like crazy person. Let's see what else we got. Cersei hates Tyrion, obviously. What did you think of the kind of subplot where Tyrion, I think, is leaving Pycelle, going to Littlefinger, and there's like a woman trying to get his attention, a lady, Tonda Stokeworth. There's this subplot where she's trying to set him up with her, I mean, today we would call it mentally challenged daughter, who is Lolly Stokeworth, who's mentally disabled. They call her like soft and soft-brained, words like that. I think that's what it's supposed to mean.
That's the way I took it, yeah.
And the idea here is that, again, it's can't get no respect. It's Tyrion is doing really good work, is really smart, but people see him as this third stringer. Mm-hmm. Like, usually, you know, a true-born Lannister would marry someone very important in this society. They'd marry, like, you know, a Prince of Dorne or someone from the Vale or someone really high up. Not like, you know, the daughter that, obviously, she can't marry off to other people because people don't want to marry the disabled daughter. But this woman thinks that she can, okay, Tyrion's a dwarf. He'll have to settle for something. So we're going to get him to do this.
Yeah.
And, like, it's kind of funny because Tyrion, you know, Tyrion's like, oh, please, not her again. He just, like, avoid it. But it's also got some insight in there that's how people see Tyrion.
Well, yeah, it seems like every single time Tyrion does something productive or does something like this, it's very elaborate. And he's outsmarting and outwitting characters who are, you know, think they're higher on the food chain or think they're higher up than they actually are. Tyrion kind of puts them in check a little bit. And every time that happens, we're always reminded that, well, he's the imp. He's the unwanted child. He's the one that Tywin, you know, probably would have gotten rid of, the one that Cersei doesn't love. And Jaime likes him. Jamie's into him because it's a brotherly thing.
Cersei calls him a bunch of stuff. I mean, as usual.
But we're always reminded.
Less than useless.
Yeah. Constantly reminded that Tyrion is less than. When he's so absolutely clearly probably the best sibling that there is. He's the smartest Lannister. But we're constantly reminded that he is this low thought of character in the eyes of the people of King's Landing. I mean, I thought this was a little unfair because it was kind of stepping on his touchdown dance a little bit, because here Tyrion had this incredible chapter, and it's like, oh, okay. We get it, George. He's the imp. But, I mean, it had its purpose. It served its purpose, so I absolutely get it. But
what's also interesting is that, do you remember that somebody actually does marry Lolly Stokeworth on the show and the books? Bronn ends up marrying her.
Of course, Bronn does.
So while Tyrion is kind of in this whole thing, like this isn't a judgment about like who's desirable. Tyrion, in this system of government, where marriage is everything, as the son of the most powerful house in land, he's supposed to be kind of reserved for really, really powerful people.
Yeah.
Bronn is a gutter rat.
Yep.
Although he is on the rise here. Tyrion made his personal guard. He has these days the so was looking more almost respectable. His dark hair was washed and brushed. He was freshly shaved, and then the thing cut off the rest of the damn quote. Sorry. Jump printer.
I know, I noticed that too.
I know, I don't know what happened. But Bronn is Tyrion's trying to present to the world like he is as important as his birth would demand. Bronn is born like he's a trash person, but he's trying to get up there. He's trying to look respectable. He's personal guard. And Bronn does eventually marry Lolly's, because while it would be a step down for Tyrion socially, it is a big step up for Bronn. Cersei arranges for him to marry him in exchange for Bronn not helping Tyrion during the trial. It does happen on the show, but they end it pretty quick.
Oh, because I was gonna say I don't remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't
at
a giant
all.
subplot. It did. I mean, and she is in the show.
Okay.
She's in one scene. She has some lines, but yet she's not a big character. But she
Oh.
is a character. On the books, he'll stay married. I mean, he's still married to her in the books, so I don't think they'll. I think it'll go a different way. But yeah, I think it's a little interesting. You know, the social ladder part of the story, as opposed to the Arya on the run part, and the Daenerys taking over the world part, and the politicking part. Lots of different parts of this story.
Yeah.
Anything else, Josh, you want to say about Tyrion 4?
No, I agree with you. The Tyrion Littlefinger exchanges were
Yeah, it was solid stuff.
fantastic.
Yeah, they were good stuff.
But
And Varys too. Those two scamps.
well, it seems like there's a blueprint for these Tyrion chapters where Varys always comes in kind of at the end, and it's like, here's everything that happened.
Yeah, a
but
little
now
bit.
he's using every single character as a puppet in his little play, though. So, which again, Tyrion
Even
is the
Varys,
smartest.
because I mean, he doesn't know everything. He gets
Yeah.
the letter wrong. I mean, even only slightly.
Yeah.
Which I like. Like, it's like Varys is good, but he's not like omnipotent.
No.
Like, he doesn't have to get everything right. I mean, how could he see inside the sealed letter? I don't know, man. Anyway, next week we are
next
going to be
week.
off because we are moving offices. As Julie said, we should iron these. I did see them. I swear to God, they just still look
He did.
greasy.
I watched him do it.
Yeah, we all watched me do it. So yeah, next week we're off, moving offices. We'll be back the week after that with more Game of Thrones news, Song of Ice and Fire discussion, genre news, exploration, and I think the first Sansa chapter, or do we already have one?
I think it's the first one. I don't think we've had one.
Okay, well, the first Sansa chapter then from Clash of Kings.
All right.
In 2 weeks, we're going to off next week. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a lovely evening, a lovely fortnight, and we'll see you later. Bye.